Very often I get asked, after all these years, why am I still in Toastmasters? The answer is very simple. Toastmasters made all the difference. You see, in Toastmasters, I met people from all walks of life, all different kinds of people. This was new to me. Also, I had an opportunity to really move my skills in public speaking ahead, and that paid off at work. And lastly, there'd always been a dream in my life that I wanted to be able to do something that would make a difference. And in Toastmasters, that happened. Plenty of good reasons to stay in Toastmasters. But let me give you a little background. First of all, I'm what they call a cubicle rat. I worked in a calibration laboratory. I saw the same people day in, day out. It was just very much the same. But then one day, the boss came in and said, "Ashley, we need you to go and speak to the new hired engineers about all those weird, crazy jobs you did." And I did. After the presentation was over, an electrical engineer named Lou Stifter came forward and said, "You're pretty good, but you could be a lot better. Are you ready to take a challenge and come with me and join Toastmasters?" And I did. And it made all the difference. Pretty good reason to stay in Toastmasters. The club that I joined had all these different people. There was an oil field engineer back from Kazakhstan. There was a police officer who wanted to be able to speak better when he gave people tickets. Can you imagine? There were school teachers, there were nurses, a host of different people. And what were they there for? All were there to try and overcome their fear of public speaking, a very debilitating thing. They helped me to overcome my fear of public speaking. Absolutely. And for this, I am eternally grateful and still in Toastmasters. There's another good reason to stay in Toastmasters. But one more. I had an opportunity to help others. If you remember that in 2008, the banks all over were failing. We had a Toastmaster club at a bank right in the town that I'm in. Their president called me on the phone. It was Robin, and she said, "We're in trouble over here. Can you please come over and talk to our people?" Well, the truth of the matter was, the bank was closing. Yes, closing. When I walked into the room, you could feel the fear. It was palatable amongst all the people. I said, anyone who is not here in these seats right now thinks that the problem is going to pass over their cubicle and they're going to be saved. No, it won't happen. You here in the Toastmasters meeting today are in a lifeboat, a Toastmaster lifeboat, that will carry you across the troubled waters to your next opportunity. But you have to take the chance. You have to seize the day, and you have to change the club. From now on, impromptu speeches have to be practice for when you are out being asked questions in interviews. The prepared speeches have to be your reason, your thing that you write up and say, "This is what I can do." You know how to write speeches, write that. And they did. On the very last day of the club, 3 of the people completed some of their objectives and gave speeches. And as the door closed behind us, there were tears. Several years later, I ran into one of the members, a lady who came up to me and said, "Do you remember me? I remember you. You came to our club and you gave us hope." All of those members had gone on to other clubs and were successful. I'd made a difference. Now, isn't that a good enough reason to stay in Toastmasters? But frankly speaking, making a difference was something I really always wanted to do in a different way. At work, they came up to me one day and said, "Hey, you're a techie. We need someone to come out with our sales guy and talk techie to the people at the sales meeting. And I did. The sales guy came up to me afterwards and said, I didn't understand a word you said, but we got the order. And I got a promotion. Hey, well, that's a couple of good reasons for staying in Toastmasters. But that wasn't all. In the last year when I was working, I was set out to be a trainer for electrical people in the electrical industry. My job was to teach them to save their lives. On the very first job that I had a guy get up and say, are you going to be as boring as the last guy your company sent? I wasn't boring, but that's a different speech. The fact of the matter is, that made a difference. I was saving lives. I was living my dream. What's your dream? Is it perhaps to get control of your fear of public speaking? To do a better job with your work and maybe even with your family? Perhaps you want to make a difference too. Then you must come to Toastmasters. You must join Toastmasters, for here is where you learn all of the skills necessary to do it. Frankly speaking, this is the place. I've been here, I know it. I've lived the dream, and my journey is continuing. I still meet new wonderful people, have a great opportunity to see all kinds of different things, and hopefully save more lives. Are you ready for this challenge? If you are, all you have to do is step forward. Come to Toastmasters. Come for your dreams. Come for your hopes. Stay for the opportunities to change the world. You'll find Toastmasters can make all the difference for you, too.